So something I've been trying to work on recently is not judging others. A thing I do a lot, and I think a lot of people do this. We tend to just make silent judgments in our head about other people that we see. Like for example, when I go to the gym, when I'm at work, I just see people and I make this a prejudgment. I used to work in sales and we were always told like by the higher ups like you need to talk to everyone. Don't prejudge. Don't assume, oh, this person is this way because of how they look. Oh, they're not smiling, so they're probably like passive aggressive or something, or they're miserable or something. Don't prejudge people. But what I learned from that sales job is that when I pushed myself and I just talked to every single person, some of the most like miserable looking people, like the resting bitch face, the RBF people that had RBFs, you would talk to them, some of them, not everyone, and then they would just like light up and they'd be like the happiest person ever. And that really shifted my perspective on like, wow, you really don't know anyone. You don't know, you have no idea what their story is. Every day, like when you're walking down the street, right? You're passing hundreds of people and they have such intricate lives that you know nothing about. Right now I work as a waiter at a restaurant, and like every day when a customer comes in, I'm trying to not prejudge. I'm trying to go in with a, hey, this person is a person. They're a person, and I'm going to treat them like that. And if I then get evidence that they are a certain way, I might feel a certain way, but I'll try to keep a positive mindset and not judge them. Because one thing I've realized is that everyone is a combination, everyone is the result of their life, of their experiences, of their upbringing, of just general like how they were raised, where they went to school, who they were friends with when they were like 5 years old, their siblings. Everyone is a product of their environment. So a thing that I used to do is like when I would judge people silently in my head, I would like justify it by saying like, oh, I'm judging this person of how they acted in this certain situation because I know that I would hold myself to the same standard and I wouldn't act like that in that situation. Right? Like for example, let's say like someone gets angry in a situation and takes it out on other people. And it's like, okay, you can like we can judge and be like, oh, this person's horrible, terrible person, they're always angry. And I think that I judge like that because in that situation I know that I would keep my calm and I wouldn't get angry. But I'm me and they're them. I wouldn't get angry because of my environment, of how I was raised, of who I was around when I was a kid, of what I engaged with on social media, right? Everything in my life has taught me to be in that same situation and not get angry, not take it out on other people, and not lash out. But that person, they didn't live my life. I didn't live their life. So who am I to judge them and be like, oh, that person's a bad person and because they did this? Because their life was completely different. They had different parents, they had different siblings, they grew up in a different area, they went to a different school, they went through a much different life than me. So if I didn't have the same environment as them, right? Imagine like it's uh, like a math problem. I have different numbers, different factors, right? Like I might have x plus y equals z, but they might be a plus b equals c, right? It's a totally completely different person. how can I judge them for acting a certain way when I'm not them? And I have no idea what they're gonna go home to that night. Um, I've read this book. It's a very famous book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And this isn't from that book, but that book talks about it, and this is where I got it from. It was said by Abraham Lincoln. Everyone, it was a certain situation when Abraham Lincoln was president, and someone was like judging a certain group of people. I don't remember exactly how it went, but then he was like, they are the way that they are because of their experiences, because of what they went through. So we can't come here and judge them because we don't know their life. We weren't brought up the same way, right? Maybe you were brought up by like great parents that taught you to act a certain way, to be kind and generous, but not everyone had that. Not everyone understands that they're actually not being kind and generous, that they're actually being a little rude. I talk to customers all the time when I'm waiting tables, and some of them come off a little rude. Like, I try to be as polite as possible, like, because the customer is always right type thing when you're working in a restaurant, right? So you always try to be as polite as possible. But some people will just, I'll be like, oh, can I take your plates? And they'll be like, yeah, take it. Yeah, I'm done. I don't want it. And it's like someone said that to me like today, like kind of like that. Maybe I over exaggerated a little bit, but it came off a little rude to me, and I was just like, okay, I don't know, but I'm obviously I didn't act and say anything. I didn't react because I'm a waiter. The customer's always right. You can't like say anything. So I was just like, yeah. But then, like I took the place, I went back in the kitchen. I was just like thinking about like, okay, maybe she didn't mean it like that. Like the way she said it, maybe she didn't mean it like that. At the end of the day, like she didn't cause any problems or anything. But I have no right to judge that. Like, and the thing is I don't get anywhere from judging that, right? Some people are some ways and some people are other ways, and you can't control that. So you kind of just need to stop worrying about it. Another thing is, I think the reason we judge other people, is because we ourselves feel incompetent. Remember when I said I wouldn't judge, I'm only judging this person because I would hold myself to the same standard in that situation. I'm basically kind of saying that like, oh, I'm better than this person, right? Like you're pointing out the flaws in other people to kind of distract the flaws of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like if I act, a certain way in a situation, but then someone else acts in like a rude way or something, then I'm like, oh, I would never do that. Like I'm better than that person. But the thing is, I'm flawed in other ways. They might be better than me in other ways, right? And other things like facial appearance. When I look at someone, like sometimes I can't really talk right now. I'm not like I don't look my best right now. But like I take my grooming very seriously and stuff, right? Because like I've had a beard, like I had facial hair. I don't have a beard right now, but I had facial hair since I was like 13. Like I had a beard before like everyone else my age. So I've always taken like grooming very seriously because like I had to. But then I see other people my age who have like facial hair like growing like inconsistently, and like it would be like patchy and stuff, and like they just like will leave it and it just looks horrible and they won't shave it. And I'll just be judging them in my head, and I'm like, why don't you just shave it? And it's just like why am I judging them. It's because like I feel like I would do the same thing, right? So I'm like kind of projecting in a way. So yeah, and then I'm trying to think of another example. I guess like hair, right? Like my hair, it's kind of messy right now, but like I also like try to keep my hair nice. And when I see some, like when I go out and I just see someone like with like some messy ass hair or like some greasy ass hair, and then like they clearly didn't like put any effort into their appearance, kind of bothers me, because it's like, why, right? Because it's like, because like when I don't put effort into my appearance, like I feel like I don't look good. So it's like, why are you out here not putting effort into your appearance? Like you could so easily look better. But yeah, I really think like I'm really trying to just like when I'm out and I see people, I'm really just trying to like see the good in people. I made a video a while ago about like how I became an optimist, and that was more like about me and my life and trying to see the good in the situations. But now like now I'm pretty much an optimist. Like I don't think negatively. I'm not really a pessimist anymore. But now I want to focus more on like when I see people, I want to judge them. I want to not judge them, but like I want to judge them in a positive way, or like at least be like, okay, that person is acting like this. No, not even judge them in a positive way. I just want to observe without without commenting, right? Just make an observation. I like it's kind of like meditation. Like you just make an observation. A thought comes up, but you don't like let it linger. You see someone and you're kind of just like, why is that person that way? And just be like, okay, that person has a completely different life from me. They grew up in a different place. They went to a different school. They had different parents. They had different siblings. They had different cousins. They watched different things on social media. They had a phone at an earlier age or a later age than me. They watched this TV show instead of this TV show. They their social media algorithm promotes this type of content rather than this type of content. And that's why they're the way that they are and I'm the way that I am. And there's nothing wrong with them being the way that they are, and there's nothing wrong with me being the way that I am. And sometimes we can get frustrated at people for acting the way that they are. And like when, if someone actually like does something terrible, like if someone gets out of control, maybe they get physical, they get aggressive, you're gonna have to, you can't just like let that slide, obviously, but we have to learn to like not judge people for the things that we don't understand. Not because we care like about other people and like we want to be this great person, like, oh, we're so loving and stuff, but how you view others is how you view yourself. So if you're viewing other people with all this judgment, it's really a reflection of how you're viewing yourself.